I came from the mud, there's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Adam with TAT Express. Thanks for joining us again on a live here on a Sunday. Today's the 16th. We're going to be doing Q&A. We're going to follow up with last Friday's video that we had Francisco in. Guys, if you didn't see that video, check that video out. That was just last Friday. He's another YouTuber. I believe he's got about 30K subscribers. He's been doing this for a long time. He was actually contacted me, come out here. He contacted me probably sometime last week, and just contacted and said he was going to be here in Texas. I asked if he could come by, and I was really excited that he reached out to me. It was really cool. I had a really good time with him. Thanks, Francisco, if you're watching. He's probably on his way back to California right now. Guys, that was a really cool video. I really had a good time hanging out with him. That's the first time I've ever had contact with another YouTuber. As I mentioned in our video on Friday, I haven't been into YouTube for a very long time. He's been going on for a few years, and it was pretty cool meeting him. We talked a lot about different engines, even off camera. We should have just kept the camera going, and we probably could have been talking all day about trucks. So it was really cool. I had a really good time. I'm glad if you guys joined us. I'm very glad that you guys joined us. If you guys learned anything, make sure to subscribe to us. I know a lot of you guys that are watching now are already subscribed to us. If you just joined us, make sure to hit that like button, guys. Also, make sure to recommend my channel if you know anybody that owns a truck or anybody that has any issues with their truck. Be sure to recommend my channel to them. I would really appreciate that. So I'm gonna try to get all these comments. We got some comments, guys. If you got any issues with your trucks, make sure to hit me up. I did get somebody hit me up on Google. They had some issues going on. What's up, guys? What's up, Transport? Transport's always on. I really appreciate you joining us, Transport. Transport said, let's get the party started. Colorado Springs, we got a viewer from Colorado Springs. How's the weather over there? We're pretty hot down here in Texas, guys. So if you can send some of that cold weather our way. Hello from Apple Valley, California. Thanks for watching us. Thanks for joining us. Francisco's actually from California, and the reason why I'm still bringing him up, this is a follow-up video from our video from last Friday, as I mentioned. But yeah, pretty cool. I was really excited about that. I would like to go out to California. I heard a lot of nice things out there in California. The only thing I probably wouldn't like is actually trying to conduct a shop in California. We deal with a lot of restrictions and a lot of not really EPAs, not too bad, but the cities are pretty bad over here with making sure that everything's cleaned up. We're not making a mess, picking up after ourselves, and I could just imagine how it is in California. So, but I definitely want to visit California, probably the middle part of California. I would like to see Apple Valley. Seems pretty nice. Awesome truck vibes. What's up? What's up, Trey? Trey's here. As you know, Trey's our marketing. He's a manager of marketing. He was here on Friday as well. He's been helping me out with the channel, getting some information out there, posting stuff. When I can't actually post stuff, he's really helping me out. I really appreciate all his help. Thanks a lot, Trey. Amir, what's up? What's up? We got another hello from Indiana. Boss man, how you doing? Thanks for that. Indiana, hopefully the weather's nice up there. How are you? My family's doing fine. Thanks for asking. I have a couple teenage boys and a little girl, little 5-year-old girl. I just bought her a bike. We actually had to go buy a bike because there's no bikes in stock. Guys, so we're gonna talk about, if you checked out that last video I just released today, look at the details when I'm explaining that video, in the details on the text as well. We're not 100% sure that a delete caused that failure, but I'm going to tell you, when you have a high mileage engine and you want to do any kind of modifications to the after treatment systems or add horsepower, I do not recommend doing any modifications on any engines, especially if you have a high mileage engine. If you have a high mileage engine already and that engine's pretty much already used to running the way it's running for that such a long time. So if you do any kind of modifications, we're trying to add more power, add a big turbo, dump more fuel into it, you're going to be putting a lot of strain on that engine. Anytime, any kind of performance items could put some strain on that engine. So yeah, I appreciate you asking about my family. Hope your family's doing well. Thank you very much. Edwin says, hi, brother. A long time from Los Angeles, California. Got another viewer from California. I appreciate your guys' support. We will be opening up more locations, hopefully in the West Coast. We may be hitting up the East Coast first, guys. That's my first time bringing this up, but will be in the works. I would like to be getting out to California and serve the California guys, but more than likely it's probably going to be Arizona, guys. So what's up, guys? Thanks for joining us. We got a few views now, right now. A few guys joining us. If you got any questions, make sure to hit us up. I'm gonna look up this question that was sent earlier today, and it was a question that was sent to me by Google. And you can reach us on Google as well. You can reach us on Facebook. You can pretty much reach us anywhere. We're very easy to find. But let me find out. Let me see. Actually, I apologize. This question came in from Facebook. Let me find this question again. He's got a DD15. Okay, so this DD15, I'm waiting for my comments to load here. Let me see here. I got a few applicants here. If guys, we are hiring. If you know anybody that's interested and that's in this area, make sure to come by, or you can apply online, or you can call us here. So he's got a DD15. Have lots of problems with the one box. My latest problem is a 322. 6 FMI 20 took to a shop mechanic, said that the DEF contamination problem. However, we tested the DEF and it's not contaminated. Well, do you know where I can okay, so he's asking me pretty much 3662 DD15. I really didn't give me a year model, but let me look this code up real quick. I don't honestly, not every time. I deal with a lot of platforms. I deal with Detroit, PACCAR, I deal with Volvo, pretty much Caterpillar, all the engines. So I apologize if I don't have these exact troubleshooting codes on the top of my head. If you look at the list of codes on each platform, they look like Bibles. There's a bunch of literature on all this stuff, and it's good to keep all this. As you troubleshoot a common code or a code that you see repetitive, then yeah, you're gonna recognize those codes very quickly. But when I look up codes, I want to look up to make sure that I'm giving you the right information. So we're looking at a 322.620 is the 322.20. Okay, here it is. It's gonna be looks like it's gonna be a GHG 14. Let me verify here. Let me make sure. Okay, all right. So this particular code, basically, that he's having here, it says selective reduction outlet sensor drift low. Okay, so it's saying that he's got some sensors drifting, NOx sensors drifting. If you've checked out my last video that I've released, probably it wasn't my last video. It was a video we released a few weeks ago, and it was about after treatment. I appreciate that, Trey. And it was about after treatment codes as well. So I would look at that. I'm going to put it in the comments here. It's basically troubleshooting the after treatment system. If you have sensors that are drifting, this is NOx sensors on a one box. Basically, this code is saying that the sensors aren't in where the ACM is expecting this sensor to be. It's not there. So that's considered drifting. Now, when you troubleshoot this code, you're just going to be checking out the NOx sensors, what I would recommend you do is disable the DEF and run a low temp regen. Run the low temp regen. Watch your the whole regen. Watch your warm up all the way to the warm up to cool down. And what you're going to be looking at in the graph is you're going to be looking for any spikes. And once this box actually hits where the temperature where it wants to meet, where it actually meets during this ATD low temp test, those sensors need to be within 50 ppms apart. Basically, ppms is what it's measuring, but they need to be 50 readings apart. So for example, if you have one sensor that's up in the hundreds and the other one is down in the 50 or 60, then that's going to tell you anytime those sensors are apart like that or after a low temp regen, you need to look into seeing what else is going on. First, you want to make sure you don't have any DEF build up in the one box or the SCR. If you do have DEF build up in the SCR system, you're going to still be converting, which is not what you're supposed to be. If you disable the DEF when you're doing a low temp, you're not supposed to be converting anything. It's supposed to, those sensors are supposed to be within 50 ppms apart. If it is converting, you may need to run 2 or 3 regens back to back to burn all that excessive buildup, all that excessive DEF buildup that happens. Is a very common problem. So what I would suggest you do is do the low temp regen, see what the sensors are. If they are drifted, verify that you don't have any buildup. If you don't have any buildup, do the test again. Start with, if it's still 50 ppms apart, start with the inlet sensor, retest. If they're still not there, hit the outlet. If you're there, if you're within 50 ppms after replacing the inlet, then you're good to go. Hopefully that helps you. Make sure you do those tests before. Yeah, the mechanic that told you that you have contamination in the DEF, that's just a list of what it's going to say. It's another description of the code. It's possible you could have some issues with DEF, but if you're checking that and you don't have any issues with your DEF, then I would check the delivery side. If the delivery side's good, then go ahead and do the low temp. So check that video out. Look back on my old video histories, and I could go ahead and it's basically a video. I share this video pretty often just because that code is it's very common problem for that particular engine. And that video is going to be fault code 436418. That code kind of falls not exactly in line. That code that I just mentioned is going to be low NOx conversion efficiency. The code that you mentioned was going to be NOx drifting. So check that out. Let me see. Let me catch up with the comments, guys. Sorry to be ranting on. Let me see here. Who called who first? Transport asking me who called who first. If you're asking about Francisco, he did reach out to me. He sent me a message on Instagram, and that's when he was coming out. I did mention to him that I was looking out to reach out to him to see if he would come out to us and see to do a video. But so it all kind of worked out. I'm glad that he reached out to us. We didn't reach out to him. You know, I kind of figured, hey man, he's busy. He's all the way in California. That's going to be a long trip for him. But he sent me a message on Instagram. He's like, hey, you know what? I'm going to be in Texas. I got some work to do in Texas. I'm going to be meeting some people in San Antonio, going up to Dallas. What do you think about me coming by? I was like, you know, cool. I called him, like, I think it was the very next day I called him. And he sent me his number, and we were talking back and forth. I was really excited about everything, about him coming in. So, yeah, he got here probably about 10 a.m. The shop was pretty busy. We had a lot of work. But we were able to kind of isolate ourselves to still get the live out for you guys. And we wanted to shoot another video, but by that time we didn't have any lunch. We didn't have anything to eat. He came over here right when he woke up. Came over here. We pretty much had the whole day. We didn't have any lunch, so we were pretty much dying. We went out and ate. We should have took some more pictures. We had a good time because we were out, ate. I kind of showed him a little bit of Dallas. Not too much to look at right now with all this virus stuff going on. And honestly, there's not too much to do in Dallas, to be honest with you. You know, it's really just going out to eat, going to a bar. That's really, you know, the parks are kind of nice, or go to a lake. That's pretty much all you can do here in Dallas. So he's the one who called me first. I'm glad he did. I'm glad we got that done. So I appreciate that. If you guys got any questions, make sure to holler at us. If you got any questions about your truck, you got any issues going on with your truck right now, hit us up. Where did you and Francisco go eat? Transport. We went to go eat at Hooters, and that's pretty much why I should have took some pictures. I just talking to marketing about that. You know, it's like, you know what, we should have rallied up some of the employees there and took some pictures. So we went out, had some wings, had some burgers. It was really nice. Had a really good time. Very hot. It was very hot outside. It's out here in Texas. We get super hot. We get up in 100 degrees, and with the humidity, it's nuts. We just visited the site this morning. We're moving right along. They're about to start utilities. They're still grading the property. It's still taking up some time. So, guys, if you got any questions or concerns, make sure to hit us up. It looks like I got a question here. Los Angeles, California is hot too. Come to Los Angeles, California. I will be out there in California, Edwin. I want to get out there. I'm really excited about visiting other states as well. But we do have a lot going on here. I have a lot going on here, so it's tough for us to break loose. We got construction going on. We got the shop. Well, of course, we have the channel, and of course, we have my second job, which is the family. So a lot of stuff to do. What is the best way to delete the emissions the proper way? Real estate, man, I do not not recommend doing any kind of modifications on your after treatment systems. Any type of modifications can shorten the life of your engine, so I do not recommend that. 60 series Detroit and the Cascadia, that's very rare. That's probably going to be a glider. Gliders are pretty much almost going to a point where they're going to be extinct. EPA is cracking down on gliders as well. Guys, if you don't know what a glider is a newer chassis, which is the chassis of the engine, the cab, the frame, all that, with a older style engine, a pre-emission style engine. Now, glider kits are very popular. There's a lot of people that use them, but as I mentioned, EPA is cracking down on this, so we don't know how much longer glider kits are going to be around. Also, the 60 series, it's starting to get kind of tough to find these parts. We got a 60 series. If you look at the video we just released today, check that video out if you haven't seen it. We got a video of, this is the last 60 series, the last model 60 series that had just complete failure. It looks to us that as coolant got into the cylinder, the operator kept trying to start the truck or start the engine and cause damage further. It was deleted. We don't know exactly if that was the exact cause of the engine, but we know you don't want to do any kind of modifications on after treatment systems, and you don't want to do it on a high mileage engine. If you do it on a high mileage engine, you're pretty much shortening the rest of the engine's life. So I do not recommend that. Keep that in mind, guys. Transport retracted is common. I'm sorry I didn't get to you fast enough. Come on to Canada. Canada sounds very nice. My wife actually came. She visited Canada. She's from Mexico. She visited Canada for a while. Would definitely like to visit Canada. I would like to see how Canada looks. I would like to see what type of trucks you're running. It's pretty interesting to see a lot of the viewers and how they actually, the different types of engines that they run all over the country. Me and Francisco sat down and we talked a while about this, how interesting it is to see the V8s, the V8 diesel engines up in other countries. It's very cool. What's up, buddy, from Texas? Hey, you're from Texas. Hey, hello from the hottest city in U.S., Arizona. I can imagine how they say Arizona's pretty hot. Hello from El Paso. Okay, I got a question here from Ishmael Rodriguez here. I have a 2012 Peterbilt ISX 15 with two codes, S2346 SPI or FMI 15 and 436418. Okay, so I appreciate this comment. This is going to be on a Cummins ISX. Let me go ahead and look this up, guys. I apologize if I don't have the actual code memorized. As I mentioned, there's so many codes. Maybe one day I will sit down and try to memorize all these codes. So we got an ISX 15. I'm logging in right now so we can check this code out. I appreciate the question, guys. If you got any questions, you got any issues going on with your truck right now, hit us up. Let me know what you have. I'll be more than happy to help you. We're gonna check this out here. We are. I don't have your ES. I don't have your. You are. Let me see. ISX. Let me look for another. Now, when I look up codes in Cummins, I need to have the exact VIN number, not VIN number, the serial number, so I'm on the right model engine. Okay, so I got an ISX 15 up here, and what we're going to do, we're going to look at this fault code. Now, the fault code that he mentioned here is going to be a 324615. Let me go here. 3240. Right, let me put this right here. We got 3246 FMI 15. Let's check it out, guys. Thanks for joining us. If you haven't hit up that like button, make sure to hit that like button. 3246, that is going to be a after treatment 1 diesel particulate filter outlet temperature, data valid but above normal operating range. Let me check out this other code. So this is going to have to do something with your DPF filter, which is not a surprise. For some reason, Cummins filters on those ISX 15s, basically what they did was they didn't go with the in-cylinder approach. Basically, they depend a lot on the after treatment system. So they're dumping a lot of nitrous oxide or NOx into the after treatment system to try to convert it. And another thing that I've learned is that the filter is a different design. It's a different design filter. So you're not going to have as much material inside the filter as you would in a one box on a DD15 or any other engine. So this is why you have a lot of issues with these after treatment systems with the Cummins. The other code here, which is 4364, is after treatment SCR catalyst conversion efficiency. So if you go back to the first code is basically telling us that we have an issue with temperature in the system. So basically that's saying something's not correct there, and I had a glitch here, so I'm sorry. Let me go back to here. Let me pull this code back up. I exited the screen, so I apologize about that. I'm gonna start back with the first code that he mentions, which is 324615. Let's go ahead and go into this code. We're gonna dig into this code right here. Let me see here. Am I in the right engine? Okay, now I'm not getting the code to come up. Why is it not coming up now? Oh, that's what. Yeah, well, I think I messed it up I entered it wrong. So here we go. Now I got it here. Let me pull this code up here. All right, let's go ahead and go into this code. Okay, so as I mentioned, the after-treatment diesel particulate filter outlet temperature sensor reading has exceeded the maximum engine protection temperature amount. So basically, it's getting too hot. The DPF is getting too hot. So when your DPF gets too hot, that means something is going on. Either you got an open dozer that's just dumping fuel into it and making too much heat. You got a sensor that's not reading correctly. Possible reduction engine performance. So you're definitely gonna have a D rate because you're not gonna be able to complete a regen. Basically, it's telling you that your engine's causing too much heat. So when that heat happens, something's not going right in there. So first you're gonna do is you're gonna check for other fault codes. Okay, so we're looking for other fault codes. Is basically the other fault codes is looking for is 4151, 4158. These aren't. It doesn't look like it's the same code that you have. You have a 4364. So we would move on, and of course, the first thing that's looking at is after treatment fuel injector malfunction. So as I mentioned, if basically what happens is behind the turbo you have what they call an injector, which is basically just a valve. On the driver's side of the engine, you're going to have a dozer block. That dozer block is tied into your fuel system, and it has a shutoff valve that opens and closes to send fuel to the back of that to that injector, that basic injector. And that injector is going to mix with the heat and cause more heat to that after treatment system. If you have a dozer block that's stuck open, it's possible that it's just going to be dumping fuel and your temperature is going to be rising. If you don't have a dozer that's stuck open, then you're going to have to check that sensor out. You're going to check the circuit on that sensor, test that sensor out, verify that that sensor is faulty, and then you're going to end up replacing it and turn around and probably have to retest it. If it goes any further than that, you could have any kind of contaminants. You also want to look for any contaminants going into the after treatment system. If you have a issue with excessive oil loss, so if you have high crankcase pressure or if you have oil loss, consuming oil, it's possible it could be burning the oil going into the filter, causing that heat to rise like that. So if you don't have any oil going into the system, into the DPF's not contaminated, the sensor looks good, the dozer block looks good, and the injector valve looks good. If all this looks good, more than likely you're going to have a malfunction DLC or something going on with the DPF itself. That's when you would actually pull the filter apart, check it out. Check the flow on it, make sure everything is good. If it's not good, you're going to have to replace it. Everything checks out. You may have some issues with the after treatment system or the ECM. It's very rare that happens, though. It's very rare that you're going to have issues with the ECM that's going to cause you to have after treatment problems. A lot of times it's going to be a sensor not reading correctly that's going to be in line with all this. But those are the troubleshooting steps for that particular issue. We got a super chat here. Sup. So my issue with DD15, codes come and go. Every time is different. Okay, so now we're dealing with the DD15. Hopefully that helped you, Ishmael, with that, Mr. Rodriguez. Hopefully that helped you with that. Need you to check it out. I can take it to your shop. Bring it into the shop, Mr. Gonzalez, Mr. Rodriguez. I apologize. Bring it into the shop. Let me do these steps that we're just talking about. We're gonna go ahead and check to see if the dozer block is working correctly. We're gonna make sure that the injector valve is not stuck open or any of that item is not leaking. We're gonna make sure that you're not dumping any oil. We're gonna make sure you're not having any contaminants, and we're gonna be able to get that fixed for you. Now, this type of code that you're mentioning, Ishmael, is not something that you're going to be able to troubleshoot on your own if you don't have insight and you don't have experience with the system. So yeah, bring it in and we'll be more than happy to help. If you want to come in Monday or anytime that works for you, talk to Francisco. We do have a Francisco here. His name Francisco Rocha. He's a manager here at this location. He does speak Spanish, so if he's for all our Spanish speaking customers, we can take care of you here. Don't worry about that. Si hablamos español. We're more than happy to help you. I'm going to get to this Detroit issue now. We got a Detroit question here, and we got a Detroit code, and the code is 5246. Eagle, the Eagles was I believe you were with us on our live on Friday. Did you get a chance to fix that last problem? I don't recall what your last code was, but we're gonna look up this new code on a Detroit DD15. This code is 5246. 5246 is here. I'm looking for 5246. Okay, so 5246. What year model is that? I want to say that it's a newer year model because I remember you bringing up some codes last time. So let me see here. We got a code here. Let me pull up this code. It's on your. It's going to be on your after treatment system. So the last code, which is 5246 15. Okay, 15. Okay, you kind of got the codes all bunched together there. So basically, that's just telling you got to derate. You're derated. So more than likely, the 16 is going to be that you're ignoring it. Okay, so the 433.4 is going to be the actual mother code. So this code, the 5246 and 5524, those are basically telling you, or 5246.16 and 5246.16 is basically telling you that you're ignoring whatever other codes are before this, and this is why you are actually reduced to 55 miles an hour. You're pretty much in derate mode, so you're gonna have to get this 4334 FMI4 fix, and which is if you had joined us on Friday, I believe that's gonna be still the pressure for your DEF. So let me check this code out for you. This is gonna AMC DEF pressure sensor. Yeah, so this is pretty much the same question that you asked us on Friday, Eagle. Have you done any repairs? Let us know if you've done any repairs, because we did have some issues. We had some recommendations for you on Friday. What I see is that you have, Francisco recommended that we do the harness. That is a good idea. Go ahead and test the entire circuit. Test the sensor circuit all the way to the ACM. There could be an issue on the actual one box harness, or it could be an issue from the harness to the ACM. If you don't have any issues on that harness, on that sensor, on that ACM, or on the ACM harness, it's possible you could have a faulted out ACM. Eagle, you want to follow those steps that we recommended you test that circuit out, because 4334.4 is diesel exhaust fluid pressure sensor circuit failed low. That's a circuit fault. You need to test that circuit. You need to test that circuit for that particular DEF pressure sensor to verify you have an issue in the circuit. If you don't have an issue in the circuit, then you would have to replace the hardware to see if it's going to take the actual fault away. But you are derated. Without fixing 4334, it's going to derate you. Guys, this is very important. If you have an issue with an after treatment code on any platform, if there's going to be a Detroit, Packard, or Volvo, if you ignore these faults, it's going to go into a derate mode. You're going to trigger more faults. Basically, these faults are there, or these precautions, or these safety features are there. For example, if you have a clogged up filter, if you have a DEF filter that's super clogged up, and you got all this back pressure that's happening in the system, what's going to happen is you're going to cause all this back pressure, and if you don't have these safety precautions in place, you're going to damage the engine. You're going to tear up a turbo. And trust me, a turbo on an ISX Cummins or a turbo on a DD15 is not cheap. Also, if you don't get the problem fixed, and you keep loading that filter up with soot, you can possibly damage the one box, damage the DOC. DOCs are actually, the DOC is the filter before the DPF filter. The DOCs are actually made on to the one box. So if you had a failure on the DOC, any cracks, any kind of issues with the DOC, you're gonna have to replace the one box, and not getting that checked out and keep pushing in that truck on a issue that can be taken care of is definitely gonna cause you more problems. So Ishmael, I hope that helped you. Thank you for joining us. That was a very good question. I'm going to jump back on top here where I was here. Let me see here for your diagnose my truck. I have to set an appointment. Ishmael, you don't have to set an appointment. If you want to call us tomorrow morning, call us tomorrow morning. Talk to Francisco. He's going to let you know our schedule. He'll let you know what time we can fit you in. And we definitely want to get you taken care of. And that's a good idea. Call us up. We can schedule your time in, or if you want to just show up, we can go ahead and get in pretty much just a preliminary view of what's going on. And then we can let you know, hey, you know what? It's going to take us X amount of time to check this out, and we can just go from there. If you're busy, go ahead and just call us and schedule your appointment. Good idea. What is the best way? Okay, I already got that question. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to find my way back. I jumped around because I got a super chat. If you have a question and you wanted to get it highlighted, you want to put it before everybody else, you can super chat us. So, hello from El Paso, Texas. You and Francisco are awesome. Thanks for the question. Thanks for the comment. I appreciate that. I need a fan switch. Where can I go? What fan switch is it? Let me know what kind of fan switch is this. I'm in Riverside, California. What type of fan switch are you looking for? If it's OEM, I would definitely check with your parts dealers. Can you make a Cummins or Volvo twin turbo? You can make a Cummins. No, you cannot. You cannot make a twin turbo. That's definitely going to be some kind of modification. I haven't done anything like that. I have seen twin turbo twin turbo cats. But not twin turbo Cummins or Volvos. That would be definitely something to modify there. Be sure to watch Friday's video on with me and Francisco. That's what I mentioned. I started the video with that. This is an overview or a follow-up from our video from Friday, guys. Thanks for joining us. If you want to jump in line with questions, hit up Super Chat, guys. This Trey's helping us out. Hit the like button. Adam, what are you logging into to view the fault codes into Cummins in Detroit or Volvo? Okay, so Cummins, I use Insight. Cummins would be Insight for hooking up to the truck. To look up codes, I use Quick Service. Quick Service is actually offered to shops. If you get the basic version, it's only going to let you look at probably 2 or 3 ECMs, which is the serial number of the engine. But we have a version where it actually has us unlimited ECMs, so we can look at any serial number on the engine, any model, 6.7 liter. We use it pretty often. Now these troubleshooting codes, the information that I'm looking up in these manuals, not every time it's going to lead you. Me and Francisco were talking about this too. Not every time is going to lead you exactly to the problem, but it's going to give you an overview of what you're going to be looking for. And when you combine that with experience, when you see this often, like when you call the code out and I look at the code, I don't know it right off the top of my head, but once I look at the description, I have experience with these codes in the past, so I know what to fix. So when you combine that information with experience, it really kind of helps out with troubleshooting and cut down on the troubleshooting time. So good question. I appreciate that question. With Volvo, I use it's called Impact. It's very kind of very detailed as well. Not too many troubleshooting codes that it's going to walk you through. It's going to be more of a service manual. So I would use PTT when it comes to troubleshooting codes. A lot of the codes that you're going to get from a Volvo, you're not going to get troubleshooting steps through Impact. It's only going to be through PPP or PTT. I'm sorry. With Detroit is going to be I'm sorry, just had a blank right there. It's gonna be PSL. Very useful information there. As I mentioned, me and Francisco were kind of talking about what we use and whatnot. It's gonna give you an overview of what your fault is, possible issues. It's gonna give you schematics. It's gonna give you what you need to be looking for. It's not gonna say, boom, this code is this problem. It's gonna give you a scope of what that problem is, so that you can look through the whole system, give you a better understanding what you're looking for. And sometimes you can have an issue more upstream up on the engine, and it's going to be causing these faults on the after-treatment system, which I've seen a lot. I've seen guys changing out one boxes. We had a guy who was a reviewer from Friday. He had just had a one box replaced on an NOx conversion efficiency fault, and had the issue come back again. Very tough for him. So keep that in mind. Son of Manzanillo. I'm sorry, Manzanillo. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking of Mexico. I'm sorry. Maestro, gracias. Here we go. Breach DPF. Bad fuel block took a crap. Unable to meter diesel. Okay, yeah, definitely. So Son is adding into something that's going on with a dozer block that he had an issue with that was dumping fuel into the actual valve that's behind the turbo, and that's what's used to create heat in your after treatment system. So if you have a malfunction there and you're just continuously dumping fuel, not only you're going to create a lot of soot, you're going to have low power, you're going to have issues like that, you're going to have check engine lights, and here you go, now you're derated. So I hope that helps. Appreciate that. Thanks. So who paid for the lunch? That's I paid for the lunch because he made the trip, of course. You know, he comes out. He didn't come out just to see us, but he was here in Dallas. He did come and we did the video. I did pay. Paid for him with the he had his marketing guy with him, or his camera guy with him. I had my marketing guy. We had a really good lunch. We should have took some pictures. I should have took some pictures. We actually took the cameras with us, and we were planning to do some videos, but our hunger was just beating us, and we were just ready. We were just ready to eat. Okay, we got a 2012 Freightliner Cascadias. Don't turn on when key. Replace clutch switch and still not doing nothing when turned key. Jump starter, truck starters. Do you know where the starter relay is located? Okay, so what I would do in that situation is if you already changed out the clutch switch and it's not wanting to turn over, it's possible you have a starter issue. What I would do is verify, if you have a laptop, verify verify that clutch switch is working correctly. If it is reading correctly and you're not having, and it's not turning on, and you're having to jump it manually with a jumper, which is basically bypassing the truck, and everything sounds good and it's starting up, it's possible that you have a starter. Are you starting it directly off the starter and you're not having any issues? Is it original starter? How many miles are on it? How much repairs have you done already? Have you started repairs already? You got a 2012, so here we are. That's 8 years old, so I can imagine is how many miles on it. If it's original starter, it's possible you have a starter issue. Have you had any oil samples done? When's the last PM? There's a lot of questions there. I appreciate you reaching out to us. Eagle asks, Transport asking if it's a 2015 for Eagle's question. Son asks, Spanish-speaking techs are now becoming highly desired in South Texas. Well, Spanish is pretty much the second language in the United States. I'm not sure if that's true. There's something I would say in Texas at least. I'm not sure in the United States, but Spanish is very useful in this area, Texas. If you look back in the history of the United States, this used to be Mexico, Arizona, New Mexico, California. That was all part of Mexico. When the United States started expanding, of course, they took over those areas. So everybody kind of knows that. But this area south of United States, there's a lot of Hispanics. Of course, we're right next to Mexico, so very useful. I speak Spanish. I'm Hispanic as well. I'm more third, fourth generation. My mother was first generation. My father, second, third generation. So we've been here for a while now. But I love the culture. I actually married a Mexican woman, just because I want to bring that back into my family. But that's a little personal there. Appreciate you talking. I appreciate the question. Appreciate your comments. Guys, if you haven't hit that like button, make sure to hit that like button. Here we go. Adam has a question. It's 2016 Freightliner DD15, collapsed upper radiator hose. Shop said bad coolant tank caps, changed caps, but the hose still collapses. I've seen this before. You know, depending on the mileage, how many miles you have, if you do have any restrictions going on, that's basically what's going to cause that. If you do have a vent tube that's coming off your degas bottle or your coolant bottle, make sure that's not restricted. Sometimes they'll have a line that's coming off, and sometimes that can get restricted. If you already replaced the caps, I'm sorry to tell you, but the next step may be that coolant bottle that may be acting up. If you still have some restrictions going on, you may have to service the coolant system, starting with the thermostat. If you haven't had any overheating issues, anything like that, you're good there. Something may not be relieving that pressure once you actually shut the truck off. I have seen that before. Adam, I did a park regen on a DD15. It failed to successful regen and gave me the code. Not remember, but I meant temperature not met for this successful regen. Good question. So we're talking about a DD15 with a one box, of course, and he says he can't complete a regen. Now, when you can't complete a regen, basically something is going on with it not meeting the parameters that the ACM is expecting. If it's not meeting temperature, what I would look for, and I see this often, is the injector valve that's on the back of the turbo that's injecting this full fuel behind the turbo, that fuel is getting injected to create heat. Now, what happens is that soot is going to start building up at the tip of that that valve, or that seventh injector is what it's called. A lot of soot starts building up at the tip of that injector, so it's not able to spray that fuel. That fuel is spraying, and the ACM is saying it's spraying fuel and everything's good, but the fuel is actually not making it into the chamber. It's not making it into the exhaust system, and it's not creating heat. So that right there is going to cause you to not be able to make heat. If you do get that code out in Amir, I'm sorry if I pronounced that name incorrectly. I'm not too great with names, but on this 2015, if you can get that code, give me that code. You can email it to me. You can email it to me at info@tatexpressinc.com, or you can call us during a weekday with that code, and I can give you an answer on what's going on with that code. If you don't have a successful regen, I'm pretty sure your light is still on. If it's intermittent, it's probably going to be low NOx conversion efficiency. But since you're having temperature issues, I would definitely check into that injector doser. That's definitely can cause you some problems. Transport also recalls us suggesting that you change out the SCR harness for Eagle. Check that out, Eagle. Eagle, if you don't want to change out that harness, if the harness looks good, check that circuit out. Test that circuit out from where that harness connects into there all the way to the ACM, okay? If you don't have the schematics, you may have to take this to a technician that has some experience and have the tools to be able to work on this, because if you do just change out the SCR harness and it's actually the ACM harness or the ACM, your problem's still going to be there. So what I would suggest, we did say a lot of times it is going to be the SCR harness, but if it's not the SCR harness and you replace the SCR harness and you didn't check out the circuit all the way to the ACM, here at my location, we're going to check out that circuit. Usually when a technician is going to request a SCR harness or electrical component, you know, we follow up with, well, why are you condemning this? Did you check it all the way down to where it hooks up to the ECM? Did you check continuity? There can be continuity on that circuit. It can be chafing, that ACM harness goes over the transmission. It can get some chafing. Any of this can happen and cause you to have some issues with that circuit and throw this fault. So thanks for that question. Do you recommend the regen tool? I'm not sure what that is. If you're talking about OTC's regen tool, I do not recommend that. Volvo is very strict about this. If you have an engine or a DPF after treatment system that's faulted out and you don't check the pressures before trying to clear the codes and run regens, you can damage the turbo. You can damage the system. You can cause more excessive soot. You can cause more problems than you're actually fixing, guys. So keep that in mind. Guys, thanks for joining us. If any of my information, if any of my videos has helped you and you want to help support the channel, please hit us up on Cash App. You can hit us up on Cash App. You go to your app store, you download Cash App, and you can link it to any bank card or bank account, and you can send us you can help support the channel. My Cash App ID is #TAT Express. As I mentioned, if any of this information has helped you, please help support the channel. If you can't support the channel that way, please leave us a Google review. I'm not telling you to make a story up, but if it's something that I help you with, that would help us out. And you can also leave us a review on Facebook. I'd appreciate either one if you guys want to help support the channel. So I appreciate that that question there. Let me see. I do not recommend any regen tools. Great info with lots of details. Support the channel by hitting the Cash App. Yep, Trey just reminded me that. And PCL, or it's PSL, Power Service Literature by Detroit. And no, it's not free. You pay for that. It's a year subscription. And you also get access to parts as well, parts breakdowns. Very, very useful information. Okay, Joe has a question. How's your new shop? Can you get the proper specs for a DD15 SCR catalyst efficiency code during the regen test, DEF ejection limits, NOx? Yeah, definitely. I have that. I send that to my techs. We have a cheat sheet that we use that kind of gives you all the information on what you're looking for on all the parameters. Let me see if I can get that up. It's actually on one of a hard drive that I don't have hooked up to my PC right now. But I'm part of a basically what is called DTNA. It's basically just a group of technicians that are Detroit technicians, and we kind of transfer different information back and forth. And there is a cheat sheet out there that's going to give us SCR parameters. It's going to get DPF pressure readings, DEF pressure readings. We use it very often, honestly. We use that, and we use the graph. If you guys are reading, if you're doing a force regen and you're looking at the parameters, look at the graph readings when you're looking at any of the sensor readings, especially the temperature sensor readings or the NOx sensor readings. You want smooth readings. You don't want jagged readings. You don't want dropping, spiking, especially on NOx sensors. If you see any spikes on NOx, if you see drifts on NOx, you definitely have issues going on. So yeah, I can get that to you, Joe Ramirez. I sent you my email address, or my email address is here in the comments. Let me add my email address here in the comments. That way, guys, if send me an email, I can go ahead and shoot you that spec sheet for the force regen. And this is stuff that you want to look at when you're doing a force regen, and very, very useful information. You want to look at all these parameters. This is ways that you can find if you got any issues, try to capture them before you hit the road. You need an Indian tech. They help you talk to Indian customers. Okay, transport. I appreciate that. Well, we deal with a lot of Indian customers as well. We appreciate all their work. We don't have any issues communicating with them, but I appreciate that. Maybe if you have anybody with experience as a service writer, send them my way. I'm looking for a service writer, somebody that's familiar with the industry, that knows how to recommend services, that is familiar with trucks and able to help the customers get through the shop. We do have quite a bit of techs here, and we have service. We do have a manager. My job is to help when you do come visit us at the shop, that the visit is smooth. We understand that everybody is in a time crunch, and we want to get your vehicle back as quick as possible. But just understand, when you have an issue that's a recurring issue, or that some of these troubleshooting these codes sometimes is not going to be a quick in and out. You know, sometimes we want to make sure you're fixed correctly. We don't want to just clear codes and just say, hey, everything's good, and then 10 miles down the road the code comes back. So I appreciate that. What do you think about a 2018 Freightliner Cascadia? Yes, that's very new, and a DT12 transmission. I'm thinking about buying it. Yeah, Israel, DD15s are, you know, if you haven't had a truck before, DD15s are pretty user-friendly. They've been out for, I want to say, since 2009, the first DD15 came out. So they've already got a few years of getting all the bugs worked out of them. The only issues that I actually see on the newer model engines are still going to be after treatment problems, but sometimes it could be from excessive idle. DT12 transmissions are really decent transmissions. I see the longevity of them lasting very long. I see clutches lasting over 900K, which is you don't see that very often with the manual transmissions, depends on the driver. So you know, honestly, DD15 2018, you're probably going that route because it's a good price. I can tell you that, compared to either a Kenworth, Peterbilt, or any other trucks out there for that year model. You know, I don't think it would be a bad buy. How many miles are on it? You know, do you have more information on it? If it's really, really good deal, I would definitely get it checked out by an outside shop. Depending on the mileage, it's already 2 years old. Check the maintenance history on it. If it was a fleet-owned truck, if it was owned by somebody and that is still in business, they may have turned that truck in because they have an issue. So keep that in mind. If nobody's owned that truck and it's 0 miles, that's basically what we're suggesting, that it's going to be a good buy. But if it has mileage on it, if it was owned by a fleet or owned by a company that's still in business, it's possible they gave it back to the dealer because it was a lemon. So get it checked out. Still check out everything on it. You know, check the maintenance records on it, even though it's probably low mileage. Get it checked out by an outside shop. Do not trust the dealers. Do not trust the people that are selling you the truck. They're trying, most of the time the person that you're dealing with is a salesman. He's not a mechanic. We got trucks coming in all the time from dealers, and we got trucks coming in all the time from people that are selling trucks, and basically they're telling them, hey, this truck is ready to go. We've already checked it out. It's DT or DOT ready, whatever. They come in and we find issues, so definitely check it out. Here we go. Here I go. DD15 rust rings. Okay. What you mean by that? I appreciate that comment. I wonder what the question is. DD15 locked up. If it's locked up, you're probably gonna have to go ahead and get another engine if it's locked up. You know, replacing a lot of the components on the DD15 is not gonna be cheap, and the engines are very delicate. You know, if you got a crank that's locked up and you're having to replace the crank, I would suggest going ahead and just doing a three-quarter engine, or getting a used DD15. I would not try to build that from the ground up. Just because it's a tough engine to rebuild, guys. It's not an easy engine to rebuild. It's not like a 60 series or a Cummins or any other engines. The bearings are different. The tolerance is different. They have very low tolerance. So any kind of debris that get into the engine is going to damage it very easily. Is it a Facebook group? DTNA. DTNA is not a Facebook group. DTNA is just part of basically PSL. The subscription, if you get a shop or professionals type of subscription, you get access to DTNA, and there's going to be a lot of technicians in there just kind of talking. Bro, Volvo denied warranty to my friend. They said he cleared the fault codes too many times. His trans went out. This is why it's important to fix a problem, not just clear it. I appreciate that, Transport. You know what? That's something that I wanted to mention as well when I was going over these OTR code clearers and all this stuff. Don't do that, guys. You're not fixing the problem. You're clearing the code out. You're resetting the timestamp. If the ECM, okay, the way ECM works is the way that they're programmed is they're monitoring everything, of course. But if there is an issue in that area that they're monitoring, or a sensor that they're monitoring, it's not going to happen right away. They got to wait. They're set different ways. They're set with limits. If it happens in so many times, then yeah, it's going to set a fault code. Okay, so example, if you have an issue and it took it 20 times to fault out before it sends you a check engine light saying, hey, get this fixed, and here you go having someone clear out the codes or having a shop clear out the codes, what's going to happen is you're resetting that counter. So you got to wait, and not every sensor, some sensors fault out right away and boom, you have a check engine light. But not every time it's going to happen. So doing this, not only clearing the codes and just to keep the truck going, not only can help you void warranty, which can happen very often. If you have a third-party warranty, especially, we deal with warranty companies all the time. We have to send them the ECM report. We cannot say, hey, you know what? We're not going to send you the ECM report. This is under warranty. You need to cover this. We can't do that. They're telling us we need an ECM readout. Send us the ECM readout. Okay, we send them the ECM readout. We send them the history of the ECM. What happens? They see that the fault code was there back in January. They see that the fault code was deleted a month ago. They see that it's deleted and you're not getting it fixed. No, they're going to deny the code. So that I appreciate that comment there, Transport. Sounds like you want to help us out a lot. I appreciate that. You're one of the #1 viewers that we have. If you do have somebody that wants to come work and join our team that's Indian, send them our way. I didn't know if you had experience with us with an Indian customer that had issues. Let me know if we had any issues. I'll definitely look into it. I want to fix it. So good information there, Transport. I appreciate you sharing that. That's definitely a good comment. If you guys are just clearing codes out and you have a warranty, whether it's third party or with the dealer, you're gonna get denied if they find out you're doing that. Hello, everyone. Tim, if you haven't hit the like button, if you guys haven't hit that like button, make sure to hit that like button. Another question here. What's your view and recommendations on deleting DEF, DPFs? I do not recommend any kind of modifications on the after-treatment system at all, Gary. I appreciate that question. Joe says, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad I was able to help you, Joe. The Detroit video you tore down looked like a lack of maintenance. Tim, you're right. That truck had a lot of stuff going on with it. That truck was maintained for a long time, and then after a while, it just kind of stopped coming around. We never saw it again. I haven't seen that truck in probably over a year, and then it showed up with this, and then I find out it was deleted, and then I was really kind of it happens. I'm not sure. Maintenance, this year's been pretty tough for trucking, so a lot of people are skipping out on maintenance. That truck that I showed you in that video of that teardown, it has been disassembled for about a week or two with coolant already that had got exposed to the truck, so you can see a lot of rust. Yes, that truck had some high mileage. It was deleted, so that's kind of why I kind of mentioned all that. It was a deleted truck. I couldn't tell you that exactly, but you do not delete a truck, period, and then you want to do modifications on a high mileage truck, you're just gonna shorten the life of that truck. So I appreciate that comment. Here to go says he's driving. That's why his question was not there all the way. I appreciate the emoji there. Nick says, "What's up, boss? Are Freightliners and Cummins engines good?" Freightliners with Cummins engines are good. You know, Cummins, I'm not a super big fan. If you look at, I was a big fan of Cummins when Cummins wasn't having any issues. M14 ISX, was a decent engine. But now we're having a lot of problems. I don't like after treatment systems failing. I don't like DPF filters failing at 300,000 miles. If you can get a Freightliner, and the thing about this Freightliner with a Cummins, you're gonna pay more for that Freightliner with a Cummins than you are with a DD15 or a Freightliner with a DD15. And in the long run, you're gonna have a better luck with a Freightliner with a DD15 than you are with a Cummins. To be honest, just because parts are more expensive. Not everybody can work on Cummins. And with the failure of the DOC and DPF at such short intervals of 300, 400,000 miles, that's big money, man. That's big money. You know, you're going to spend more money just to own the red engine. To me, I would probably steer clear of a Cummins for now until they can figure out all their problems, and then stick with a Freightliner and DD15. 2013, 2015 and above, DD15s are, a lot of the stuff has already been worked out. A lot of the bugs have been worked out on it. So good question. Got check engine light again, Adam. Check Martin. If it's the same sensor, intake sensor, everything is still under warranty. If it's not that intake sensor, then of course that's not going to be under warranty. If you have the code, send it to me, Martin. I know that you had that repaired about a few months ago. It was an intake sensor not reading correctly. He took it to another shop. They replaced the wrong intake sensor. We were able to replace that intake sensor. It got him up and going. If you do have another fault, I have a feeling it may be a different fault there, Martin. So if you do have a check engine light, send me the code. I'm more than happy to look into it. Definitely help you out there. Okay, we've got another question here. What do you know about the device called Ugly Fix, and do you recommend off-road truck? I don't know anything about Ugly Fix. To me, it sounds like something like OTC's doing. I don't recommend doing any kind of code clearing. If you do have a code, definitely get it checked out by an experienced shop with the right equipment, so they can give you the description on what's going on. I can reach out to me if I can help you. Call me during the daytime, 972-225-3017. Call me during business hours. Email me at info@tatexpressinc.com. If you can make it down to Texas, hit us up. Call us up. Make your appointment. We'll get you in and out. We respect your time, and we'll get you fixed up. So I appreciate that question. I don't know anything. Off-road trucks are off-road trucks. Bringing them on the highway could be an issue. OTR, you're right. I'm sorry. OTC is going to be the tool manufacturer. OTR is the third-party software that they're using to delete the engine. So that's OTR. Thanks for correcting that for me, Transport. I think I need to send you a hat and some shirts, man. Thanks you for helping out so much, man. And I'm sorry that I didn't say the exact OTR instead of OTC. OTC is the manufacturer of tools. OTR does the third party to delete the codes. And that's who I'm talking about is OTR. Appreciate that. How much does it cost to get that oil O-ring fixed on the DD15 due to low oil pressure? You're looking, depends on what type of engine setup you have or a chassis setup you have. We don't have to remove any other hardware. If you want to hit us up at info@tatexpressinc.com. Get us your VIN number so I can give you an exact price for that particular job. I appreciate that. What year, Martin? Transport's asking what year on your truck there, Martin. I'd have to look up his history. I'm hoping that is a different engine or different check engine light there, though. I'm pretty sure it is because we had a defected sensor, and I think that repair was done over a month ago. So I'm pretty sure he's got something else going on. Gary B says, thanks for all the information and knowledge. God bless. I appreciate that. Tim says, what's your thoughts on the glider kits? Glider kits are decent. As much as pre-emission engines are what we would look for in an engine, that's just basically not what we're dealing with anymore. And with the glider kits, you're running into engines that are pre-emissions, and what's happening is they're not manufacturing any more parts. If you have a head issue on a 60 series, good luck finding a good head. Good luck finding a good head on a 60 series. So basically, with glider kits, with EPA coming after them, they're not going to be around too long, and the combination of not being able to get parts, it's just tough. Singh says, hello, Adam. I am coming tomorrow to your shop. What time should I come? I got a few codes, DD15. Let me see if I don't know the schedule. I'd have to look at the schedule, but come on in. Call us in the morning. Call us at 972-225-3017, guys. Call us if you want to come in. Give us a shout first. Call us up. Talk with Francisco, the shop manager. I'm sorry if I don't know our schedule. He is the one who is scheduling all your work in. Talk to Francisco. He's going to let you know exactly when we can get that truck checked out. So I appreciate that question. Davin, I know you said you were going to come by when Francisco was here. We didn't see you. I'm pretty sure you probably got some conflict of your schedule. Something came up. It's cool. Come and see us tomorrow. Come on by. If you want to give us a call in the morning, if not, just come on by. I believe I should have a tech ready for you. I think it's called, Sing. Did you meet Francisco Friday? See, Transport saw your comment from Friday as well. So Martin says he's got the fault code. Fault 1, fail 5, 5221. Let's look at this code real quick. So Martin just sent me a code. Let me look up this code. This is going to be on a DD15. DD15, and it looks like 522. Okay, guys. Thanks for joining us, guys. Thanks for your questions. It's really exciting to get these questions and get these questions answered. 522117 is what I think that code is. 522. Okay, I can't find this code. That may be on the chassis side. If it's not on the engine side here, I don't see that code. Okay, let me see here. It's jumping from 521 to 524. I don't see this code there, Martin. If you can give me, let me see. It says 5221 FMI 17. Yeah, I see that transport. I'm trying to look that up, but I don't see that code. And usually when I don't see the code in PSL, that's basically telling me it could be on the chassis side. Let me see here. I don't get that 522. Martin, if you can come by, let me hook up. I can't pull that code up. I really wish I can get that code a little bit more clear. Let me go to his comment again real quick. Let me see here. Francisco, I'm sorry, Martin wrote the code here. Fault code 1, fail 5. Son, I can't look that code up there. For some reason, it's jumping from 521 to 524. I don't get any of the 522s in here. Let me see. Let me go with the year model here. Let me go with a different year model. I'm sorry. Here. Let me go with the newer year model. Okay. I do not see that code there. It may be on the chassis side there, Martin. If you can get some time to come see us, come see us. I can get that code looked up. I'll look on the chassis side with Triple DL. Hopefully we can figure you out. Sorry, I couldn't answer that question. What we got next? No, Adam told he was going to leave before I can get there. Oh, okay. Yeah, were you the guy that probably was coming in from Fort Worth? Probably. 2012. Okay, Martin says that's a 2012. Martin, with that year model, I can't pull that code up for some reason. PSL is jumping from you know what? Let me look it up in another way here. 5221. Let me see if I can find it in another way for you there. See, I can get your questions answered. I don't like unanswered questions. I do not like unanswered questions. So let me see what I can find for you there. Yeah, you know what? I'm sorry. You're going to probably have to bring that one in so I can hook up, or give me another code description because I can't pull that one up. I apologize. I wish I could help you out there. 1000 Mercedes 4000 swap 60 series. Okay, thanks for that. Here to go. Were you asking a question? What's up? What truck and engine would you recommend for a heavy hauler? For heavy haulers, I would try to go with I mean, the highest horsepower you can get is probably going to either be a Cummins or a D16. There's not a lot of D16 Volvos. They're pretty pricey, but you want to look for a heavy hauler. What I would recommend, if you talk to any drivers that are doing the same hauling that you're hauling, try to get some information on them on what their best setup. Because I had a customer ask me about a log hauler, and I looked up log haulers, and man, those are completely different trucks, man. They got beefed up chassis. I mean, the chassis is really just beefed up, of a lot heavier truck because of the reason why they built those trucks like that is because they're completely going off road. They're very heavy, and they want to keep the frames from bending. Because you think about it, if you think about having such all this weight, and you're going on unlevel grounds, it's basically can cause a lot of problems. So if you're hauling heavy, try to talk to some of the guys that you're hauling. Of course, if you're hauling heavy, you're going to have to go with this highest horsepower you can get and torque, and then kind of look at what type of application you're working with. If you can talk to any of the operators and kind of get a feel of what type of setup they have, I would definitely go with that type of setup. Seeing what code you got. Martin, it's the wrong code, I think. Yep, Adam, try 522117. That's the one I looked up there, transport. I looked that up. I didn't see that. It's jumping from 522. It jumps from 522 or 550 or 50 to 524, and then it goes 53. So I don't have any 522s for that year model. I can't find that particular code. It may be maybe it's just the wrong code. Maybe you're getting it to me wrong. I don't know. Happy late birthday, bud. Was going through YouTube and saw last week was your birthday. Thanks for the great content. I appreciate that. I am now 37. I feel very young. Don't feel old at all. Okay, we got a couple codes. These are the codes that you were going to come in and show us on Monday. But yeah, definitely, we can take care of you right now. What year model is that truck they're seeing? What's the year model of that truck? Because with PSL, we have troubleshooting codes under EPA 7, 10, and GAG 14. So if the newer, and you got GAG 17 as well. So if it's a brand new truck, I'm going to go ahead and go with 14. I don't think it may be older than newer than that. Let me go here. Now your code is 3696. 3696. Let's check this out, guys. I appreciate all you guys joining us today. If you got any other questions, hit me up here. 3696. 3696. Okay, got it here. 13. Okay. All right, DPF filter force region switch message contains, okay, signal not available on the CPC DPF switch source. The vehicle enter Cascadia. Okay, it's a Cascadia. Is it an M2 chassis? Is that an M2 or is that a Cascadia? Okay. It seems like some kind of programming issue is what it's asking about. It's saying it's some kind of programming issue. Let me look at this other code here. It's asking me if it's an M2 chassis or if it's a Cascadia. Did you actually tell me if it was a Cascadia already? DD15 Cascadia. So it is a DD15 Cascadia. Cascadia, yes. Is a vehicle? No. Verify CPC parameters. Okay. You may have, it looks like you may have, let me see here. Go to step 3, cycle power down. Is this a recurring code, or is this something that just come up once? Is this a recurring code? How often does this happen? Comparative parameters. You may have issues. Did you do any kind of swap, any engine swaps, or any kind of swaps with the ECMs? Did you do anything with that? 2014 Cascadia, DD15. Let me check this other code, 3464. 3464. Guys, if you got any questions and you want to jump ahead of the line, you can hit super chat. We can bump your question up in the front. 3464. 3464, guys. Appreciate you guys joining us. Thank you guys for all the support. I'm trying to get all these questions answered for you. I'm very excited about answering these questions. In some cases, I do need to have the truck here so that I can get this truck checked out, because in some cases it is tough to get these trucks troubleshot without the truck actually being here, guys. But I'm going to give you as much information to you as possible. So he's got a 346413, and he said it was a 2014 model. So it's got to be it's going to be 15 here, GHG 14. Okay, I don't see 13. I see 3464.3, 3464.4, 5, and 31. This is gonna be a H bridge 1 circuit. If we're looking at it, if we're looking at FMI 3, looks like it could be a wiring issue on the intake throttle valve. Look, it could be something going on with the intake throttle valve. If you need to check, basically on that particular code is giving us an issue with the intake throttle valve. So what I would recommend you do is go ahead and check out that circuit. Make sure that you're getting everything. Make sure it's reading correctly. Make sure you don't have any corrosion, any chafing on anything going on with the harness. If you don't have anything going on there, it could be the throttle valve there, the intake throttle valve, the ITV. I appreciate that question. Honestly, if you want to come in tomorrow, come in tomorrow. Let me test that. Let me test that intake throttle valve. We can open it and close it. We can check it out. We can check out all these codes for you to verify what's going on. On the 3696 as well, I want to see what's going on with that one. Since you say engine O is basically saying it's not on the engine side. It could be on the chassis side. So that might be something we want to look into as well. It did say something about the CPC. So that is the computer in the chassis. So if there's something going on with the SAM cab, you could also be having some issues going on there. So if you can bring that in, I'll be more than happy to look it over for you. I can, walk you through the troubleshooting steps, seeing what we're looking at, and definitely come in tomorrow. I appreciate that. Let me see. Hello, Adam. I have a 2008 Cascadia with code cab 249. Okay, that's on the cab side. Truck is a Series 60, a 2008 Cascadia with the 60 series. Is that code, you're saying that code's on the chassis side, or on the cab side? I may not be able to look that up, but I'll definitely try for you. 240, let me see, 249. This is a 60 series. This is an older truck here. Actually, it has an older engine, not an older truck, but here we go. 60 series. Let me jump over here to 60 series, guys. 60 series troubleshooting here. Let me check this code. Okay, so you got code 249. Let me see, 249. I don't see that code either. It looks like it's going to be, since you say it's the cab side, that's more than likely going to be on the cab side of the truck, which is if it's going to be a Cascadia, you may have some issues with the SAM cab. Guys, I see a lot of problems with the SAM cab for some reason. It gets coolant, it gets water, not coolant, but it gets outside moisture into the SAM cab. The SAM cab is basically communicating all the devices with the truck, and you can have issues there. It sounds like that could be a cab issue. Sorry, let me see. Davin, that's code 4364 code was wrong. FMI number. Appreciate that correction there, transport. Davin said he's going to be coming by tomorrow, so I'll be more than happy to help him. We're going to go through those codes with him as well. Adam wants to answer all the questions. I do. I'll try to. Does idling for 30-45 minutes affects the DPF as bad as doing a few hours, or not as much? You don't want to do any kind of idling. That's why you have an idle shutdown. Any kind of idling basically is you're not going to be burning off all that fuel, and if you're not, an unburnt fuel basically turns into buildup soot. That soot's going to end up building up all over the different sensors. It's going to intake sensor, differential pressure sensor, EGR sensors is going to cause problems. So I would not recommend. Even Detroit alone tells you not to do any kind of excessive idling. Martin has his code here. I guess transport was able to decode his code. And 4364 is, let me verify that. That does look like an emissions code. Let me go back here. 2012. Let me go back to six DD15s here. I want to go back to troubleshooting here. Guys, I appreciate you guys joining. I appreciate all your questions here. We're going to go have lunch after this, so we're very excited about that as well. If you guys are in Dallas, you can join us. 4364. Okay. This does look like a... Okay, yep. SCR, NOx conversion efficiency low. Martin, I'm going to put my video, and this is... I should know this code already off the top of my head. You're right. Here we go. I'm going to put this, Martin, check this video out that I'm going to put on the comments. Check that video out. That video is what you're dealing with right there. Can you bring it back by? Bring it back by. Last time you came in, you had an intake sensor fault. Now you're getting a conversion efficiency fault. If you're doing a lot of idling, it's possible that's what's causing it. But we need to troubleshoot that code to make sure you don't have any excessive buildup or anything else going on with the system. Check that video out. Yeah, it's 2014 DD15. It's the region switch on the dash. Just 2 days ago. No, never. Okay, Davin, no swap. Okay, 3464. 3464, Davin. That's did you give me that code already? Did I already check that code out? I think I already checked that code out for you. Let me go back to it. Guys, I'm probably going to wrap this up here. We got a few questions still remaining. I'm trying to get to them all, but I've already been live for over an hour. We got some more videos we're going to shoot today. We just shot What's in the Shop again. From it's definitely different from last week. We got the engine coming in for next week as well. We're pretty excited about that. Transport, I'm sorry, transport. Let me see here. I don't mean to be jumping around so much, guys. I'm just trying to get everybody's questions answered. Let me go ahead and highlight this one here because Davin told me he's got the 3464 and 2014 model. That's EPA 07. And the reason why the year models changed because EPA 07 is different from EPA 10, but EPA 10 and GAG 14 are the same. So 3464. I don't see FM 14, but it looks like you got an issue on your CP. It looks like CPC issues right there. Bring that in, man. Let me run through that. It is saying intake throttle valve maybe having some issues, but I don't see that it's a 14. I only see that it's EPA 07. Here it goes. I found it. I'm sorry, guys. I couldn't get that exact code there for you saying, but I got it here. It's intake throttle control valve electrical fault. As I mentioned, I got a little piece of the code on another on the GHG 14, but it is coming up on EPA 07 since it's a 2010. I guess they didn't do any upgrades until after that. But that particular code, 346414, is intake air throttle control electrical fault. Check the circuit on that. If the circuit is good, then you're gonna have to replace that intake throttle. And it's a very common problem. If you want to still come by tomorrow, come on by. I can test it out for you. We can verify that the intake throttle is bad. That particular fault's going to give you all type of performance issues. It's not going to run correct. It's going to run it's going to be iffy. You're not going to be able to do regens. It's going to run pretty funny. DD15 engine every 32,000 miles. I lost half a gallon of antifreeze. No check engine lights. No cold. What do you think? Do an oil analysis to see if it's going into the oil. Do a pressure test as well to verify it's not an external leak. If you don't see any external leaks, you may have to drop that oil pan with the coolant pressurized and see where is it going into the engine, if it's going into the engine. Guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, guys. I've already been on for an hour. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see if I can try to catch up to all these questions real quick. Okay. Hi, Adam. I got a 2017 Cascadia. Okay, that's the one I just answered. Check that out. Last night, I was in Vegas and had to idle all night. I understand that. It's very hot. Thank you. David, got two different problems, looks like. Engine side and truck side. Also, yep. This morning when I hit a hill and check engine light came on. Martin, that's going to be low NOx conversion efficiency. When you can come see us, we can definitely get you taken care of. If you push it off any longer, it can put you into derate. David, no, bro, here from Cali. Adam will take care of you tomorrow. I appreciate that. Transport, yes, I'm all dash lights blinking all the time. I'm going to show up you know what? If your dash lights are blinking as well, man, that's going to definitely be something going on with the SAM cab there, Sing. We can definitely get you taken care of. Blue Wolf subs, like the brake material is worn off in a synchronizer. Adam made a video where he dropped the oil pan. Yeah, check that video out. And you're right, Trey. I appreciate that. Who was that asked that question? That was Jeep. Jeep, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna put another video here that I did about a coolant leak on a DD15, and we had to do the same thing. We couldn't find the external leak. It didn't have any external leaks on it. So what we ended up having to do is drop the oil pan, and this is per PSL. This is what the manufacturers want you to do. If you have, and you could verify that coolant is going into the oil. If you don't see oil level rising and you can't really see, what I would recommend is doing a oil sample. That's why I recommend that at the beginning, because not every time you're going to see cross contamination with your eyes. Your naked eye is not going to see coolant or fuel going into your oil. That's why I recommend doing a oil sample, because an oil sample is going to let you get a whole readout of what's going on in that engine. So check that video out I just put there. That's going to be checking your internal leaks. If you don't have any external leaks, you're going to have to pretty much do that if you're testing positive for cross contamination or coolant going into your DPF. Or I'm sorry, going into your oil, guys. Here we go. G-Man, check EGR cooler. Yes, sir. You're going to have to do that as well. Check that video out. EGR coolers can leak as well. And you can test the EGR coolers. You can isolate the EGR coolers on a DD15 without actually removing them like a Cummins. We have the tools to test them on the truck, so you don't have to pull the EGR cooler off. Very, very time consuming. You can take the hot pipe off, which is behind the EGR cooler, and get a mirror. If you can't get behind to see the intake part of the EGR cooler, get a mirror so you can see the inside of that EGR cooler, and you can definitely see if there's coolant in there. You may have a bad EGR cooler. That's definitely right there, Transport. I appreciate that. Seeing, yep, be there tomorrow. Transport, you should come out. Come someday here, or I'll meet you someday in Cali, someday when we can deliver there. Cool. Transport, there you go. Transport's out of Cali as well. Is there a book to read codes? There is not. There's manuals to read codes. You have to pay for the subscription, and you will have access. 2016 Freightliner Cascade, going up the hill, heavy load. I hear a clinking noise. This, when I stop, smell burning smell. Could that be the clutch or rear end? I would, if it's you would have a better idea if it's drivetrain than if it's engine. If you feel like it's drivetrain noise and it's 2016, 4 years old, check out your drivetrain. Check out the clutch. Check to see if you have clutch wear. Check the oil in your differential. Check the oil in your transmission. If you have over 500K, you're probably not there yet. You may want to check the oil on that. Thanks, Adam, for your very important time for all the owner operators. I appreciate it. Yes, sir. Sing, I'll see you tomorrow. Check the flex pipe might be broken. He's answering your question. Okay, if you smell burnt, does it smell like burnt? You know, if you think it's a clutch, does it smell like burnt brake pads, or does it smell like exhaust? If it's exhaust, then it's possibly could be an exhaust leak. He's right. Check the exhaust. Make sure you don't have any exhaust leak. Check out my DOT video. That's gonna help you kind of look through the whole truck, and also check that. Do you need a license to work on trucks? You don't need a license to work on trucks, but you definitely need to know what you're doing. You're gonna be making a lot of customers mad if you don't. Guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I appreciate you guys all joining us. Make sure to hit that like button. If you didn't hit that like button again, we got more content coming out to you guys. We're gonna be starting to shoot during the weekday. That's something new. We're going to start shooting during the weekday, so I can shoot on what's actually going on in the shop during the weekday, so you can see what we got going on. We're planning to do a couple of videos a week, so you can see what's going on in the shop while the things are going on, so you don't have to just watch the what's in the shop video, or the videos is just coming out on the weekend. Guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks for all the guys that come in, all the viewers that come in and visit us. I appreciate all your guys' support. If we haven't helped you yet, and you're in Texas, or you're on your way to Texas, you're making a trip to Texas, come holler at us. You can call us during the weekday, 972-225-3017, or you can email us at info@tatexpressinc.com. Guys, have a good evening, good afternoon, rest of the afternoon, after evening. If I don't see you until next Sunday, I'm going to see you next Sunday. We may go live again during the weekday. If not, we're going to be releasing some good content, guys. Again, Adam, thanks for I'm sorry, I was reading a comment when I said again, guys, but Transport may have a comment for us. But, guys, I'm going to take off. I appreciate all your guys' support. We're going to get a bite to eat. I haven't ate anything all day. I appreciate your guys' support. Until next week, guys, until next time, we'll see you guys. I appreciate all you guys' support. Thank you.
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. down soon. They sing on a sleepless night. Try to catch me howling at the moon. Won't stop fighting to the very end. Many men try to reach it, many men have failed. Well, if you wanna get to heaven, you gotta raise a little hell. And I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. Will you find me? Hope you find me.